Hi guys, welcome to another of my tutorials. Here today I'm going to be showing you how you can use the if function, that is the nested if function, to be able to find the grade or be able to input the comment for grades of students for tests that they have done. So I'm going to use these criteria here, or these entries here, to guide me through whatever I'm going to be doing on the other side, where we are going to be calculating the average for the students, that is the average mark for the students, and also inputting a nested if function to be able to calculate the grade, or to be able to output the grade of that student. So for example, here we have a criteria where we are saying that if a student gets more than 89, the grade should be A. When the student gets a mark from 80 to 89, then the grade turns out to be a B. Then the next one turns out to be a C, then a D, and then less than 60 becomes a fail, represented by F. So first of all, we are going to look at our data here. We have our data for some 3 students for the case of this demonstration, whereby these students, the 3 of them, have some marks in 3 subjects. So we are going to be using these 3 subjects to be able to calculate the marks. So we have subjects called 701, another subject called 702, another one called 703, and another one called 705. And then we have the marks for the students, for each of the students. So for the first thing we are going to do is to calculate the average mark for each of the students in the 4 subjects. So we are going to insert a formula here to do the average. Of course, this is something you have done before, so if you have not watched my previous tutorials on how to insert formulas such as sum, average, and rest, you can do so. So sum, not sum, sorry, the average, and then we put the range like that, then we close the brackets and then press on enter. So the average for that student is 58. So we copy the formula to all the other cells, and then there we have the average mark for the students. Now, having gotten the average mark for the students, we can proceed to insert the grade. And we have said that to be able to insert the grade for these students, we are going to use the nested if function to grade these students. So this will make our work easy for a teacher who wants to grade so many students without having to look at the marks manually and input the grade. So as always, because it is an if function, it will start with an equal sign. So we start with an equal sign, equals, and then if function falls, then we open the bracket. Then the test that we are going to be making here is whether this cell here is greater than 89, because any mark greater than 89, then it will give us a result of an A, of a grade of an A. So if L2 is greater than 89, then we are saying that the value, if that is true, should be able to give us an A. Then we put a comma after that, and we are saying now instead of having a value if false, because you have so many values, that is why you are introducing this nested if. By nested we mean it is an if inside another if. So we introduce another if, and we say that if, then open the bracket again, then the logical test that we are testing is now whether L2 is greater than, we go to the next criteria. First one was greater than 89, then the next one is greater than 79, because we are beginning from 80 to 89, so it will be greater than 79, like that, greater than 79. So that means that the value start from 80 going all the way upwards. So if it is greater than 79, so what is the value if that is true? The value if that is true should be able to give us a grade of B, like that, and then put a comma. We introduce another if because we are not through with our criteria, then open the bracket again, then the logical test, we are checking whether from here the next one will be greater than 69, so that we can start from 70. So again we are checking whether L2 is greater than 69. So if it is greater than 69, what is the value if that is true? The value if that is true is C. So the mark is C. Then I'll put another comma, introduce another if, because you notice through with our function or with our criteria. So if again L2 is greater than, now we are from 69, then we go to 59, so that we can start from 60, 59, like that. Then we are saying that the value if that is true should be able to give us D plane, that is a D. And then finally we are saying this, if then introduce a bracket, we are saying that if it is lower than 60, so if L2 is less than 16, because we are starting from 59 going downwards, it's less than 60, then this one should be able to give us a value of F. And then finally what we do is that we close all the brackets that we opened. So we have how many brackets which are open? We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5. So we are going to close on the other side 5 times, like that, and then we press enter. So you can see that this student here has an average score of 58, and that is below 60, and then that's why the result is an F. So if you copy the formula to all the other cells, because you should be able to copy formulas in Excel, then you can see that someone with an 84 gets a B, someone with a 70 gets a C. And that, guys, is how you can use the nested if function to be able to grade students in the class. As always, remember to ask any question in the comment section. Also remember to like, share this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you, and we meet next time during the next video.